Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. I got an interesting video that I want you guys to listen to, and of course, we are going to talk about it. So here we go.
Symbolic white flag. Okay, ladies, I know I've been hard on you for the past couple days, and I want to have a serious conversation. The reason why I am so passionate about this topic of women seeing men as human and not just the butt of some joke on social media is because I used to be like y'all. I used to laugh at all the jokes and repost the videos. I followed Drew and haha, men suck. Yeah. And then I was in a relationship with a man who, for all intents and purposes, was very good to me. And I didn't respect him. And I ended up cheating on him. And I felt terrible for that. And I didn't want to hide behind my emotions or how he made me feel or whatever. I had to put that on myself. I had to take accountability for that. I had to go to therapy for that. I had to realize that I was wrong. And the way that I saw myself in relationships and the way I saw men was not right. So I started talking and really listening to the men in my life, asking them questions, trying to see how they see things, understanding their perspective, watching male content creators, trying to hear them out. And what they said made a lot of sense. And I realized that these women were not being respectful towards men in the same way that they wanted respect from men. And I didn't like that. This all happened with my brain fully developing. So maybe some of the girlies just aren't there yet. But here's hoping that one day you learn to realize, if you haven't already, that men are people too. Just like women can be bad, men can be bad. Just like women can be good, men can be good. And here's hoping we all get to that realization eventually. I'm waving a symbolic white flag.
So it was actually, it would seem real simple and common sense what she said. But the reason why feminism is such a detriment, one of the reasons, because it's a detriment for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons that feminism is such a detriment is because it immediately pretty much went into man hating. How the man hating started was the patriarchy is evil. Okay. It went from seeing, quote unquote, the patriarchy and not individual men as a problem to seeing individual men as the problem. When something is a villain, quote unquote, or when you are accepting propaganda or propaganda is being brought to you or fed to you, and with this particular propaganda of feminism, what was fed was men are the bad guys. Men are the villains because they are able to have authority. Men run societies. Men create societies. And, essentially men are able to subjugate, quote unquote, women, or they have the strength to basically dominate over women. And so when you have feminism, it paints all of that as this villainous, thing. And when you have something that is a villain, you tend to dehumanize that thing in order to hate it, because you can't hate things that you consider to be the same as you or on the same playing ground as you, level ground as you. It's difficult to hate it. So one of the keys in hating a group of people or a demographic or whatever has always been to lower or lessen the status of that demographic to something less than human, something less than you, or whatever the case may be. Once you consider them people psychologically, you consider a group of people less than you, or you're superior to them somehow, or somehow they are bad, then it's easy for you to then tread on those people and not treat those people with any type of respect or things of that nature. And so that is what feminism ultimately did, not only with the concept of so-called the patriarchy, but with the concept of men in general. which would then extrapolate to individual men. Okay. So now we have, fast forward to modern day with social media and all of that kind of stuff, and the types of rage bait that's being posted, anti-men, misandrous content that's being posted by various women, whatever the case may be. And so you have all of this content out that reinforces we're against men. And like she said, men are the butt of the joke. And, so it's easy to dismiss a man in general, and also easy to dismiss a man specifically. So what she's saying is she absorbed all of this content, opened herself up to that type of man-hating content, which was not her lived experience, so that when she actually got into a relationship with a man to have a lived experience that was contrary to the man-hating that she had allowed herself to absorb, she ended up being in a situation with a man because she not only didn't respect that man, she didn't respect men, period. So therefore, it was easy for her to do him dirty, cheated on him, and probably a lot of other disrespectful things that she did in that relationship, which ended that relationship. Okay. So it's good on her, I guess, for her to sort of say that to her peer group, and say, okay, you are listening to misandrous content consistently. And so because you are absorbing these thought patterns and you are adopting them, now you're going out into your real life, and the men that's in your real life, you're not respecting them. They're the butt of the joke. It's easy for you to do a man dirty. This is why it's easy for these chicks to lie on men. It's easy for them to try to ruin men. It's easy for them to try to make men's life a living hell, because when you don't respect, then you will do anything to somebody you don't respect. You will do anything to them people. Anybody that you don't respect, then it's not a far cry for you to either have apathy towards them or actively mess with them or actively do them dirty when you don't have no respect. This is why respect is important, because you can quote unquote like somebody, you can be attracted to them, you can be whatever you want to be, but if you don't respect them, then the door is open for you to be disrespectful and disregarding of them, right? Because most people do the person that they love dirty, but rarely do people do the person that they respect dirty. And that's across the board. That's men and women. And so she's telling other women that all that man hating that y'all think is so funny, and you think it's not a big deal, and it's just a video, and it's just a this, and it's just a joke, and it's just a whatever, and then you get offline and transfer those same sentiments into your real life. So you want a man around you, but you don't want to respect him as a man. What do you think is going to happen behind that? How is it that you are going to have a working, functional, healthy relationship with an individual whose gender you don't even respect the gender, period? Not possible. It's not possible. So, and she actually, I don't want to say all this and not point out the thing that she said was part of the solution. Part of the solution is not just to sit somewhere quietly and try to change your mind, but actively go and start listening to who? The men, first of all, the men in your life, fathers, brothers, you know what I'm saying, your so-called significant other, whomever. Start actually paying attention to them. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to the things that they talk about. Pay attention to how they view the world. Pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to what they're doing, and actually absorb that. Start absorbing that instead of all this foolishness that y'all be, all on TikTok. Y'all all on TikTok and Instagram talking crazy about men getting together in the hen house and cackling and all of that type of stuff. And what it's doing is playing out in your real life, and the men don't want to be bothered because you want to be in a relationship with me, yet you don't respect nothing I say. You don't respect nothing I do. You don't respect when I try to do you right. You don't respect nothing. And all you want to do is, quote unquote, be in this relationship, and I do a whole bunch of stuff for you, and you sit around and still have a snotty attitude, a snotty little disrespectful attitude. And I'm supposed to overlook all of that and still love you and treat you like a queen. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. And nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that with y'all. So you can listen to whatever you want to listen to, sprinkle, and all that, because they leading you astray. Have led you astray. Y'all are already off the mark. You have already lost the plot. Nobody got to sit around and pamper y'all and coddle y'all while y'all turn around and spit in somebody's face. Who want to do that? Then you want to holler about how the men ain't no good, and the men treated you this way and treated you that way, but you disrespectful, like on every level. So hopefully she learned her lesson or whatever. And maybe young women will figure it out before y'all start ruining y'all relationships with the men that y'all claim y'all want to be with. You cannot be in any type of healthy marriage relationship with no man that you do not respect. It is not going to ever work. Ever. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.